Hello, I am Elizabeth Swick. I am the Director of Marketing over at the Quincy Arts Center. And today we're going to do a little project with you guys just to help you guys pass time. But I also want to make you guys aware of our family dinner project placemats that we've been doing since September. Those are all available on our website at quincyartscenter.org. If you go to events, you'll see the pull down menu, and then at the bottom there is the family dinner project. And when you go to that page, it'll have all of our project placemats from since September that we've been doing. And on those pages, there's tutorials for how to create artwork inspired by an artist's birthday from that month. So our first one was in September, and we did a project based on Louise Nevelson. So this was using household items, things that you have lying around, and paint in little boxes. So it's kind of based off of her work. So it's a great way to use all those little things that are just lying around. We also did this project in October where we used a wire and aluminum foil and then on a box, and it makes it look like a metal sculpture. We threw a little paint on there to give it a little patina. But that was also a very fun project using things that we have at home. We also did a food sculpture, paper mache. And this one would be really good for our upcoming Just Desserts exhibit that we will be doing in May. So if you guys have a dessert that you love and you want to make an art piece about it, go ahead and bring it to the Arts Center and we can put it in our exhibit for Just Desserts. You can find all the information for that exhibit on our website as well. If you go under exhibits, upcoming exhibits, just look for Just Desserts. And then on there, we have all of the guidelines that you can follow for that. And then last month we did one on Grant Wood, who is an artist from Iowa. And what we did was we used a piece of cardboard, and we turned it into a canvas. So we just used colored pencils on that one to kind of get the texture of Grant Wood's painting. But we used a story, and we made a picture about a story. So kind of talking about visual cues and things like that we can put into our stories. So the one for March, the project for March, is based on William Morris, who did a lot of wallpaper designs. So we're going to learn how to do a repetitive pattern that can be then turned into a wallpaper. It can also be used for like a shirt design or whatever. We learned this trick from our guest judge for the high school exhibit, Emmy Lingscheit. She came and she brought one of her patterns that she did, which is these cute otters. So she had silk screens made of this pattern, and we printed them 4 times onto this handkerchief. And you guys can maybe find the seams of where those prints were laid out. So that's the idea, is that we're gonna come up with a pattern that can then be repeated over and over. So all you need is a piece of paper, a pen or pencil or both, some tape and some scissors. So if you want to if you have white paper laying around, that's going to be your best bet. But if you only have lined paper, you can even use graph paper, and that can help line up your pattern. But we'll want to cut it into a square. So if you have a ruler, you can measure it out. But if you don't have a ruler, the easiest way to do it is then to fold it into a triangle. So you want this point to be very sharp, and then lay it down. And then with this section, you can fold that back. Oop. So whenever you unfold that, that's a square. So then this part can just be trimmed off. So that's how you get a square without a ruler. But if you have a ruler, you can use one. So once we get our square cut out, we'll then fold that into 4 equal squares. Now with my 4th through 8th grade art club kids, I always tell them to set yourself up for success. So each step is going to be crucial for the next one. So if you mess up in the beginning, it's going to lead it to a trail of kind of mistakes. So we want to be really precise. So just be really precise when you're folding your square and then onto these little squares. You just want to be really precise. Take the time to get it nice and clean, because that'll help your pattern be nice and crisp. So once you get those 4 squares folded, you'll start your pattern out on the axis that's in the center. So you'll want to keep to the lines here on your drawing. Your pattern can be whatever you want it to be. It can be inspired by objects that you have. It can be inspired by like a pattern that you see. I'm working on a wall right here. That's a pattern, kind of an endless pattern. But I'm inspired by nature, so I collect a lot of things whenever I go on my little walks. So I collect a lot of feathers. So that's what I'm doing today with this, is feathers. So I just placed them on there to be kind of natural, and I placed them on the axis here, traced around them, and that's going to be my pattern. They can go off the edge, which is totally fine. To kind of help you continue that, what you can do is then fold the ends in to the center, to where they meet in the center, and then you can take your object, lay it back down, and continue the pattern onto the other side. Once you get your pattern into your axis, you will then cut it into the 4 equal squares. So this is going to be where it gets a little complicated. Let me rearrange this back to where it was. So you have your pattern in the center, it's cut apart. Now we're going to start to flip it to create almost like a border. So we're going to take the bottom section, we'll move it to the top, and then we'll go from side to side. And then those will get taped back together. I will do it one more time. So we have our pattern drawn in the center. It's cut apart. We're going to move the bottom to the top. And you can already see how that pattern is going to repeat itself. And then we'll move from side to side. So you'll tape those together. So now you have a border of your pattern, and the center is blank. You can then take your objects and place them down there to continue the pattern into the center, which is what I did here. And then you can also trace and emphasize your lines with a pen or marker, and then continue your pattern on the inside there. So that's going to be able to be repeated up and down and side to side endlessly. And these can be as complicated or as simple as you want them to be. So this is one that I did in Emmy's workshop. This is a pattern that I like to do based on topographical maps. So with just this little square, I can then print it over and over again. And then when it's placed together, it looks like one giant map. So that's a fun way of doing just one simple square and then being able to repeat it to be just massive. If you have a colored printer that you can make colored copies with, feel free to use markers or colored pencils, but if you don't have a color printer, just a black and white copy can be just as effective. And then you can maybe even color it in once it's all printed out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Please share what you create on social media. You can tag at Quincy Art Center and we can find your projects that you guys make. And there's also a contest for those family dinner projects. So if you do a project and you hashtag Quincy Art, what is the hashtag? QAC, Family Dinner Project, I believe it is. You can find it on the placemats that are on the website. So look for that hashtag, tag the Art Center. We will find it, but that'll enter you into a drawing for a $40 gift card to the Art Center to use for classes and workshops. And the winner for that will be drawn in April. So you guys have plenty of time to do those projects and share your work with us. So I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy and doing lots and lots of creative things at home. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.